Vinyl friends, we're ready for a spectacular new show. This is number 90 for us, so we thought we'd do 1990.
Are these records really 35 years old? The answer is yes.
Yes, they are.
No matter how hard it is to believe, yes, they are. We want to remind you guys to go to that stuff down there in the description. We've got a link to our Fourth Wall site where you can get exclusive footage and exclusive merch and stuff. You can join for as little or as much as you want. You can go to our YouTube channel and check out all that wonderful stuff we have in there. What else do we want people to do when they go to our social
All
stuff?
the good stuff.
Like,
subscribe,
comment,
and share.
And share. Sharing is caring. But back to 1990. What a crazy year. When you look up what albums were released in 1990, it is the full gamut between...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's the end of the 80s metal stuff, so that stuff is still coming out full force. It's pre-Nevermind, so that whole explosion hasn't happened. And then you had a bunch of like dance and R&B stuff coming out at the same time, and like this confluence of so many different types of music. Yeah. What a cool time.
Yeah, I mean, you think of the 90s as being the grunge era, but it really wasn't taking off yet.
No. And just looking, I mean, the word that came to mind when I looked at the list is schizophrenic. The record industry was schizophrenic in 1990. The other thing that was driving that was MTV. And the visual and video side of things, which is basically non-existent now. I mean,
which is kind of mind-blowing.
It is. It's really strange to me that in a time where people's attention span is so short, that music videos aren't a bigger thing than they are. I mean, bands still do them, but the business is not like leaned as heavy into the music video side.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at stuff on YouTube, you find a lot of music videos you didn't even know existed.
Yeah, they just don't push them like they used to. But 1990 was like that cradle of when the music video industry was at its peak.
Yeah, and MTV had a lot of influence.
Yeah. And so there's just so much different stuff out there. It was fun looking for 1990 records. The funny thing is, most of the 1990 records I have are metal bands. There are a lot of metal bands with records released in 1990, and I'm going to be talking about those. What about you?
Well, 90 was I wasn't buying vinyl in 1990. I'd done the ploy the record companies do.
Yeah.
And I'd switched everything to CD because I heard when I worked at the record store in the later years, they said, hey, they're going to quit making vinyl. Mm-hmm. It's, we want to start pushing CDs. They're going to quit making vinyl.
Yeah.
So I bought into it.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like the industry is doing the same thing right now. If you start noticing, they're starting to release a lot more stuff on CD and extra stuff in vinyl packages on CD and Blu-ray. So we're coming around the horn to go back to CDs. I think it's happening, but I still have all my CDs. And
yeah, I do too.
And when CDs popped out of the woodwork. I was a late adapter of CDs. I think it was 1992 before I got a CD player because they were so expensive at the time.
Oh yeah, the first one I got was in the 80s, and I had one CD.
What was it?
Rolling Stones Hot Rocks. But I mean and it was a cheap CD player. It was like some knockoff brand, but it was still damn near $300.
Yeah, which was a lot of money back then. But it's just so fun to reminisce back to these times because I don't know about you, but I don't feel like I'm 35 years away from that point in my life. And it's a mind F, right?
Yeah, as I think Keith said, looking back, it would be like in 90, we would have been looking back at 1955. I mean, think about that. Let's talk about Elvis.
Yeah. Marvin Berry.
Yeah.
Well, as we move forward, did you select things in any certain genre, or did you just go through and like pick the
Well,
ones that mean a lot to you?
it was the ones that meant a lot to me are ones that I'd picked up, because a lot of the 90s stuff I had to get later.
Right. And,
know.
and the other crazy thing is like from 90 to the mid 90s, a lot of that music is very expensive and hard to find.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But as you got closer to the middle of the decade, the manufacturing of vinyl just went down further and further. So, well, do you want to start us out with your first selection?
Let's kick it off.
Okay. I will take the classic Vinyl Ventures record.
And we're going to kick it off with an A band, AC/DC.
I love it. He's coming around. He knows those little ticks in my head.
Razor's Edge.
Now, this is a crazy album. Honestly, this is the biggest hit that AC/DC had since probably Back in Black. I would think since Brian came into the band, they had Back in Black. I guess For Those About to Rock was a pretty big one, but they never really had like that breakthrough song that you heard everywhere. But in 1990, they did.
Yeah, and it's weird to think a band that had been around, that made their money really in the 70s and 80s. Came out with one of their biggest well-known hits.
Yeah, and the song we're talking about, of course, is Thunderstruck.
Go to any sporting event, you'll hear it.
Well, not only that, you go to any sporting event, you'll hear it at the event. You watch any sporting event, especially American sports, on television, you hear it like being played in the background.
Yeah.
It's just ever present.
It really is.
And we were talking before the show, little inside Vinyl Ventures. I think that this took off so much because that lick is like Angus playing Eddie Van Halen. And then it goes into the AC/DC. So it's like blending those two worlds.
Yeah.
And I know that Eddie was a huge AC/DC fan. It was one of the few bands that he still listened to. His favorite AC/DC album is Powerage, and I have to give Eddie a second on that. But so you have been working these jobs, these games and stuff since then. How many times do you suppose you've heard Thunderstruck?
A lot. I've heard it, and I'm not sick of it. I love the song.
That surprises me because I am sick of it.
Yeah.
And you are not. And you've been exposed to it a lot more than I have.
But the album kicks off with Thunderstruck.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, I feel like the first three songs are so AC/DC-ish.
Yeah.
I mean,
I forgot Money Talks.
Yeah, Money Talks and Fire Your Guns. I love it. Wasn't a single, but I love Fire Your Guns.
Yeah, and then you've got Mistress for Christmas.
It had four singles: Thunderstruck, Money Talks, Are You Ready, and Rock Your Heart Out.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's classic AC/DC. But isn't it crazy that these guys are still touring? They just did a tour this summer. And Brian Johnson, who's like every bit of like 77 or 78 years old, is out there doing this. Like,
it's crazy.
It is. I mean, God bless them for doing what they love. But man, this show in particular is a time traveling show for sure.
Yeah, and AC/DC is one of those bands that they kind of cross a lot of genres.
Yeah.
So I mean, if somebody's into metal, AC/DC. If somebody's into punk, AC/DC.
Yeah.
If you're into pop, AC. They blend. Even country people like AC/DC.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing. I just heard a story from Tom Morello. He was playing with Bruce Springsteen's band because he toured with them for a while. They were in Australia, and this is, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 10 years ago. they were in Australia, and Eddie Vedder was also in Australia at the same time. And Morello, he wasn't like the musical director for the E Street Band, but he was kind of helping guide them.
Yeah.
And I guess they played, I can't remember what city it was, but Tom Morello's idea was to open with Highway to Hell with Eddie Vedder singing it with him. And I guess that was just a freaking amazing performance. But can you imagine Bruce Springsteen coming out and opening with an AC/DC song in Australia? I mean, they cross all genres.
They really do.
When you go to shows, man, I remember the big one when I was going to shows like in the late 80s and 90s, like seeing Motley Crue 100 times like I did. Back in Black or Highway to Hell were on the PA system before the band came
show.
on.
Oh, yeah.
So they aren't just like all over the radio. They aren't just all over MTV at this time. They're being played by other bands before they perform. It's
Right.
AC/DC, I've said it a million times, but they do what they do, and that's all that they do.
Yeah.
And they are a stalwart band in hard rock and heavy metal.
They
So
really are.
thank goodness for AC/DC.
We like AC/DC.
We do, and we especially like starting with an A band. Okay, here comes my first one.
And it's not a B band. It's not going to be a B band.
I'm going in release order today, so from January through December of 1990. Now, this is, well, it's not going to stay closed. This is Slaughter's Stick It To Ya. This is not an original. I wish I had an original of this. This came out in January of 1990. Little backstory, Mark Slaughter, Dana Strum were in Vinnie Vincent's band when he left Kiss called Vinnie Vincent Invasion. They had a butting of heads, and I don't know if Vinnie kicked those guys out or if they just left the band, but then they started their own band, Slaughter. The reason that I chose this over another one is because Up All Night is the big single off of this. And if you remember, that song was on repeat everywhere. It kind of a hard rock release, but it was on pop stations. It was on kind of like Thunderstruck, but not to the same degree. It was on commercials. I mean, everywhere you went, you heard Up All Night. Dana is also the guy that introduced Randy Rhoads to Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne. And I also think he introduced Jake to Sharon and Ozzy. So Dana kind of plays a larger role in rock history, just having been friends with Randy Rhoads. So, but I've always loved this album cover. You've got the girl with the knives thrown at her. This is a Friday Music re-release of this, so that it's one of those. They license these to repress them.
Yeah.
This cover print. It seems like most of the like licensed ones that music companies do are not nearly as good and sharp, but the original cover of this is just fantastic. And then you got the guys on the back there too.
I think the repops, they sound really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anymore, I don't know what they're pressing them from when they're licensing.
I don't either. I know that like
Probably a digital master.
I would hope not, but maybe it could be a digital master. It could be the original tapes.
Yeah.
This one sounds okay. I mean, I'm sure the original press of it probably sounds better. But this is just one of those bands that like they came out with that song. It was all over the damn place. Then another song from this, Fly to the Angels, was their second single from this, and kind of a acoustic ballad thing, and that went all over the place too. I think that Up All Night went to number 27, Fly to the Angels went to number 19, and then Spend My Life was the third single, and then another song, Mad About You. So this had 4 singles on it, but the first 2 were really the standout ones. But yeah, I remember seeing the cover of this when it came out, and I'm like, I wouldn't mind throwing some knives at this lady.
Yeah, she's a good knife model.
Assistant. But I think their next album was 92. It was called The Wildlife, and it really didn't like live up to the hype that this band had gotten. They're still out there doing it. Their original guitarist was killed in a car accident like 15 years ago. His name was Tim Kelly. Their original drummer, Blas Elias, plays with them occasionally, but notably he played with Blue Man Group in Vegas for a long time. So yeah, he's been all over the place, and he literally, he's the dude down here. He literally looks just like that today. I mean, all these guys look pretty. I mean,
when he was Blue Man Group, did he have to shave his head?
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. But that's just an interesting little tidbit that, he was in Blue Man Group. But when you think about it, Blue Man Group is a very percussive, rhythmic kind of thing. So it definitely tracks. But yeah, Slaughter Stick It To You in January of 1990. And
Nice.
I'm probably gonna go home tonight, maybe have a Manhattan and listen to some Slaughter.
Ooh.
What are you bringing up here
Well,
next? I'm going to put the ones I already talked about up here.
Next on the playlist, Sinead O'Connor.
Oh,
I do not want what I haven't got.
this is another weird thing. Like, she's an Irish singer, and here she is, and in the middle of one of the big years in the music industry.
Yeah, it followed up a very successful Lion and Cobra album for
Yeah.
her, and her cover of Prince.
Oh,
Of
Nothing
Prince's
Compares to You.
Nothing Compares to You. I think it's better than Prince's.
I do too. I think that's the mark of a good song.
Yeah.
I've got the album that I think it's called Prince Originals. My wife got it for me a few years ago. And it wasn't even on my radar. But she ordered it, and it's him doing all the songs that became famous from other artists.
Ooh.
And you hear Prince's version, and it's good, but there's like a sadness and a desperation in her
That's a great description.
performance of that song that I think, 50 years from now, when people are going to talk about cover songs or someone doing a song by someone else, this one's going to get mentioned.
Without a doubt.
And then you also remember she performed on Saturday Night Live around this time and ripped up a picture of the Pope. And,
and created all kinds of controversy.
yeah. I mean, can we go back to those days when the biggest controversy
Was ripping up a picture of the Pope.
Please. But yeah, she just passed away like 4 years ago, right?
Yeah. When was it? Let's see.
I always ask those questions, and
It's either 22 or 23.
yeah. It wasn't that long ago.
No,
and
no.
she was not very old. I don't
No.
even think she was 60. After that Saturday Night Live thing, it took her a while to like bounce back from that. I mean, initially she got a huge push from the controversy, but then I think it kind of started going the other way.
Yeah, she had 3 singles off this. The other well-known one is The Emperor's New Clothes
Okay.
and 3 Babies.
Okay.
I wouldn't know that song. And
You're not putting the headphones on to listen
No.
to 3 Babies?
I've listened to the whole album many times front to back, but 3 Babies never really
Resonated. Oh gosh. But I mean, you can't ignore the fact that she had that X factor, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she had a beautiful voice, had the shaved head, which scared people back then. She's definitely up there.
And when the album came out, I mean, it was number 1 in almost every chart. I mean, the Portuguese, she was number 3.
No kidding.
So, I mean, it was, to say that it was a big hit is an understatement.
Yeah. I bet this was at least platinum, right?
Oh, yeah.
It had to at least sell 1 million
Yeah.
copies.
Certainly in the U.S.
Yeah.
It's 2 times platinum.
Wow.
2 million copies.
That's something. I mean, it's funny because she's one of those artists that until she gets mentioned, you may not like immediately think of her. But then you think, I mean, there was like a 3-year period where she was a big deal.
Yeah.
Maybe even longer than that.
Yeah. And I mean, Nothing Compares to You is the song that everybody thinks of.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one, man. And I've always loved the cover too. Just, she has those really beautiful blue eyes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a good one, man. I do not want what I haven't got. Sinead.
With a period. That kind of drives me crazy. When they put periods on statements.
Punctuation. You mean on album titles and stuff?
Why does it need a period?
Because it's a statement.
It doesn't need a period.
Okay. Well, record companies, take Wheel's advice.
Take my advice. Save the ink.
Okay, so I'm going to my A band, a little out of order. This is Alice in Chains' first record, Facelift, and I gotta tell you, I love this album. I didn't listen to this until after I had become a fan of the band when Facelift was released in '92, I think, or not Facelift, Dirt was released in '92. And then I went back, and I remember, that Dirt album is like a grunge masterpiece, but it's almost more metal than it is grunge.
Well, yeah, a lot of those grunge albums are very metal-ish.
Yeah, but I think at the time, because we were being told that this is grunge, they're from Seattle, that it was just in our heads.
Yeah.
So at the time, when I first heard Dirt, I was like, what in the hell? Because Them Bones is the first song on that. And that's like a 2-minute and 15-second punch to the face. You know what I mean?
Speaking of which.
Yeah. And I think that I'm sure it still happens today. I think that we get told what to buy, what's good, how to categorize it. I mean, we almost kind of get programmed by the record companies.
Oh, yeah.
And still today, these big media companies, to a lesser degree, because people are buying albums less and less. But anyway, after I fell in love with Dirt, I went back and listened to this. And it was another mind F, because I'm like, this sounds like a totally different band almost. I mean, it doesn't sound grunge, but it's not metal. It was like the big song off of this is Man in the Box, and that was a huge hit.
Oh, yeah.
But my favorite song on this is a song called Sea of Sorrow, and let me pull it up here. We Die Young was the first single off of this. This came out in August of 1990. And then Man in the Box was the second single. So Sea of Sorrow wasn't even a single off of this. But I love that song. And that's why I included it. Because this whole album, you listen to this and then you listen to Dirt, it's like, this is the same band? And I love that when bands like make those big leaps forward and go in different directions. And I've really loved everything that Alice in Chains has done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everything they recorded with Lane and everything that they've done with William Duvall since then. You can tell Jerry Cantrell's voice when he's singing along with Lane or William, but like they always have their stuff always sounds vital to me. And I think a band that's been around for like 40 years, 35, 40 years, sounding vital today is a
Critical.
Tall order, but very important. But yeah, and then you have them on on the back with, I don't know, they must be caught in a blob or something.
In plastic.
Yeah. That's dangerous. That's very,
Yes.
because what it looks like to me is they are swimming and playing with saran wrap, which those two things do not go well together.
They don't go well.
Right. But anyway, Facelift by Alice in Chains. This was re-released, I think, in 20 for the 30th anniversary. So my only complaint, the hype sticker for this is a big, huge square sticker. But my complaint is it's not a gatefold.
It's not a gatefold. It was a time when record companies were trying to figure out what to do.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Where was the industry going?
Yeah.
Right? These guys were certainly not like the 80s hair band. But, when I think of Seattle bands, I think of Pearl Jam, I think of Soundgarden, I think of Mother Love Bone, and then I think of Alice in Chains, because I feel like they're just tied to like regular rock.
Yeah.
Somehow too, more than some of the other bands. STP is kind of the same way, even though they're not from Seattle. But yeah, it's an interesting time and space in the music industry. I think this sold. I'm pretty sure this is at least a platinum a couple times. But yeah, I love it. I love everything Alice in Chains does, and the only thing is, when I listen to Alice in Chains with Lane, it makes me sad to think that he's gone. But the band lives on and the music lives on. I see what your next one is.
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew
Let's go with
that this was coming
a
up.
J band.
Yeah.
Jane's Addiction. Ritual de lo habitual.
Yeah. That's a good one. I mean, they really love they had an aesthetic between like Nothing's Shocking and this album with the nudity on it. It's what's the big song off of this one? Been Caught Stealing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
MTV helped push that
Everywhere.
to a whole new level.
Again, one of those songs that was everywhere.
Yeah.
It would be on a baseball game as they're going to commercial.
Yeah.
It would be on a commercial. It's amazing. Like, I remember when this came out, I'm like, who in the hell is this? It was...
They had their own sound, and this was their technically it was their second studio album. I mean, discounting that first XXX release, because that was a live album.
Yeah. Yeah, because Nothing's Shocking was first, then this, right?
Right.
And it was also one of the records, if you look up here, that came with the parental advisory sticker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which was a big...
Thanks, Tipper Gore.
Yeah, but I mean, when you think about it, that whole movement, that PMRC movement, did nothing but help
Right.
sell records.
Yeah, because you want what you are not supposed to have.
Wait a minute. Sinead does. Oh, no, she wants what she has. She does not want what she does not have.
I don't know.
Okay.
The title's too long and it has a period.
You make it you make it forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
The kids are going to get it. They're going to find ways to get it. They're either going to have people buy it for them. People at I remember at a record store, I don't think I ever declined selling anything to anybody.
No.
Because
you're
of their
not going
age.
to.
Maybe I did, but
maybe if they were like 10 or something.
Right. What else about this album?
Well, the funny thing is, Been Caught Stealing was the third single.
Was it really?
Yeah, the first single. And I mean, the first single was Stop, which came out in August, and then 3 Days, also in August. And then Been Caught Stealing didn't even come out until November.
So they were probably giving those two a little time to breathe. And then
I feel like MTV really is the main push.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know that they were kind of an underground band. What were they really considered? Because they're not really punk.
Well, the genre is listed as alternative rock, alternative metal, and hard rock, because they were playing in the same clubs in LA as like Guns N' Roses and before Guns, they all knew Motley Crue.
Yeah. Like they were around in LA
Yeah.
during that hair metal heyday on Sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they knew all those bands, and so that's how they kind of get into that metal.
Yeah.
Because their guitar is Navarro's guitar is pretty special.
Yeah. And it's just an interesting, in retrospect, knowing the kind of band and they are and the music that they play, it's funny to think of them canoodling with all of those hair band dudes, right?
Yeah.
Because their music is certainly not like pop sensibility. The big thing, and I'm going to say something that may be controversial. The thing that kept me from like latching on to them was Perry's vocals. He's just kind of...
Oh, I get it. There are some vocals that just drive me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and it's almost like he struggles to sing, like he's flat a lot, or...
That's probably why because classic, really good singers usually don't appeal to me.
Right. But the one thing also is, this band that Been Caught Stealing just like sent this band to another level. But Perry is the guy that started the Lollapalooza festival that used to tour around the country. And I'll tell you what, man, that was a big, big deal.
Well, to think how big it is, I mean, it's even big now, even though it's, one day in Chicago. My daughter went to the Chicago.
Actually, isn't it the whole weekend?
Well, it's not one day.
Yeah.
It's like
one weekend, like a Saturday and a Sunday.
Well, I think Friday through Sunday.
Okay.
It's like a 3-day show.
Yeah.
But it's always at Grant Park
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
Chicago. But the name Lollapalooza is so big
Yeah.
that even professional wrestling's having a WrestlePalooza.
Right.
Which that tells you how, when you've crossed over into,
Wrestling and fighting and
having
stuff.
your name
Parodied.
almost like Kleenex.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a big deal.
It is. And all credit to him for the business acumen that it took to put that together. And I mean, it was a thing for like 3-4 years. Like touring around maybe 5.
It was even longer than that. I think they did the original tour. They may have done 7 shows, but by the end, or 7 seasons, by the end, it was kind of losing its oomph because all these other
festivals
were popping up.
Yeah.
And they just weren't as, they didn't have the same gravitas that they did at one time. And
Right.
part of that is alternative music was beginning to take off.
Yeah. And, that opened the floodgates for like the Lilith Fairs and then eventually Ozfest. For so long, people complained that the U.S. didn't have any festival shows. And now it's basically the way that bands tour is festivals.
It's a festival world.
And it kind of changed also like the smaller shows, because now you go to a smaller show, most of them, and it's probably a lot to do with what it costs to go on the road, sharing costs and stuff. But even, if you were to go see, a mid-level band, they're probably on a package with 3 or 4 other.
Yeah, they'll do mini shows almost.
Yeah. So the whole festival thing really sprouted from Perry Farrell. And so all credit to him. And maybe what is the end of Jane's Addiction sprouted from Perry Farrell too.
Yeah.
Although I did hear yesterday that the other 3 guys, not only are they suing Perry is suing them back, but the other 3 guys are supposedly maybe doing a project together with
Interesting.
with an unnamed singer. So To be determined. That's a good one, though. What's on the back? Did we look at the back?
No.
Oh, it's just like a shelf with.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's the. Maybe that is the original cover. I thought it was.
I don't on my CD. I don't remember this.
The back is definitely different because
Yeah.
I have this on a CD, like a Japanese import CD with a bunch of live stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and just another note: we may have to blur out the front cover
Yeah.
of this. There was an edited front cover of this
That's right.
that I think was it all black, but then it just had like this part of it, like their heads.
Yeah,
I think that might have been what it was. But yeah, man, this was a big deal back then. And again, why such a historic, important album is not a gatefold? I have no idea. I mean, this is what is this on? You know what record label this is?
Let's see. It's
can't-
on
Warner.
Warner.
It's not like Warner doesn't have the scratch. Come on, man.
Well, and I think that's, back to it's the CD era. So they were trying to package albums as cheaply as possible. But you would think with a repop, hey, let's
Yeah.
put it in a gatefold.
Yeah, I would definitely think that. Well, that's a good one, man. I knew. I knew that came out in that year, and I'm like, this one's coming.
That one's coming. What do you have next?
All right, my next one is another, like, it's easy to forget, but it's another big one. This is Empire by Queensryche. This came out in September of 1990. This is Queensryche's most commercially successful release, reaching triple platinum status. The first single off of this is Empire. Now, you got to think back to their previous album was Operation Mindcrime, which was a concept album. And to me, Mindcrime is like if somebody said, "What's your favorite concept album?" I'm going Operation Mindcrime. I remember when I heard about it before it came out, I'm like, I'm getting this. The day it came out, I got it on cassette. I was instantly a fan. Couldn't have told you what the story was. Didn't care. The music was great, and they were kind of. I love the back cover too. I love the like pixelated Reich logo there. But the thing about this band is they are a Seattle band, and they kind of got thrown into the hair band thing, but they really weren't a hair band. And they also, their music like teeters right on the edge of like progressive. So they kind of bridged a lot of gaps at a time when most people wanted to just write them off as like 80s hair band.
Yeah.
But Empire just came out and killed it. The first single was the song Empire. Best I Can was the second one. The big one is Silent Lucidity.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of an acoustic, almost Pink Floyd sounding song. And again, at that time, with MTV and radio play and the fact that these bands were all touring nonstop, I mean, you couldn't go anywhere and avoid Silent Lucidity. So they've always been a favorite of mine. I've seen them once in their original form, and I've seen them since where they only have 2 original members now. Scott Rockenfield was their drummer. He's not with the band. Jeff Tate, the original singer, he's not with the band. I'm trying to remember the guitarist's name. Chris DeGarmo is the original guitarist. He's now like a pilot, and he'll play with like Jerry Cantrell and Alice in Chains sometimes. And I've heard that the big promotion companies that are doing shows have offered these guys like ridiculous amounts of money to
Have the original members
back, and they've all turned it down for whatever reason. So, but Queensryche is, I remember like in college how much me and my buddies loved this band, and it was like, yeah, these guys are the next big thing, and they were a big thing, but then they fizzled out. Almost as well. It wasn't a quick rise. I think Mindcrime was 87 or 88. So yeah, they're a big one for me. And again, this album is so good. This is on 2 LPs and it's in one freaking jacket. I think we're going to call this show, Why Is This Not a Gatefold?
Why is this not a gatefold?
But yeah, it's a good one. Give it a listen if you haven't, because it does. It holds up really well.
That's a nice one. The next one I have is a little band from California called Mazzy Star.
Oh, man.
And this is She Hangs Brightly. And Mazzy Star formed from the ashes of Opal,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
which was a Paisley Underground band. And
Speaking of which, we got to get that guy on the show.
yes,
You got to get a hold of him.
but Hope Sandoval's voice is so ethereal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know. It's not, you're not going to hear this on like a rock playlist.
Yeah.
It's almost like listening to a Pink Floyd album.
Early Pink Floyd.
Yeah, because it's just very.
It sets a tone.
It sets
right?
a tone.
Yeah.
It's a relaxing tone. It's not like get up and dance. It's
Yeah.
just. It's hard to describe.
Yeah, I know. There's so many people that love Mazzy Star. We go to the record shows. So many people love this band.
Yeah, and this was their. Did I say? Yeah, this was their debut.
Okay. Cool. What's on the back here? Let's flip it.
And they do I think, what is the big, there were no singles from this,
Interesting.
but
I'm going to turn it back around.
Fade Into You is probably
Oh, yeah.
the song that
Yep.
would most be known from this.
Yep.
And there's a song, let me see if that's on here, Ghost Highway, which is a cover. I think it's a cover of a Cramps song.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Maybe not. I could be totally botching that.
The Cramps. We don't talk about the Cramps very. We need to do a punk show, don't we?
Yes, we do.
I think we should do just an all punk show.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll try one.
yeah. But Mazzy Star, it's kind of like a lot of these bands. I think maybe because there was such a glut of music being thrown at us in different ways between radio, CD, LP, MTV, ABC, 1, 2, 3, Bitty Bitty B. I was just going to see how long I could go. I think because we were being like punched in the face by the music industry so much at this point that there's so much stuff that fell through the cracks.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so much stuff that when I think back, it just all gets jumbled.
It's there was a lot of different styles of music starting then.
Yeah, like I said, it was just schizophrenic. I mean,
Yeah.
really, the beginning of hip hop was happening there too. I mean, hip hop was crossing over. Another one is Public Enemy had a big Fear of Black Planet, I think, came out in 1990. I don't have that, but that's another great record that is just totally different than, like I mentioned, D-Light's World Click came out in 90. You had DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, which was like the pop side of the R&B stuff. Then you had Public Enemy, which was scared the hell out of everybody. And then you had all of these holdover 80s hair bands still putting stuff out. So it was like a weird gumbo of different styles and genres.
Which would continue through the 90s, really.
It really did. But I mean, having retrospect and looking back, I mean, I just look at this list of stuff that came out, and I'm, Eric B. and Rakim had an album come out, and just rap was becoming a bigger and bigger deal.
Yep.
Paul's Boutique had come out the year before, and I think that ignited a flame for the rap stuff, because that blew people's minds, and that was a slow burn too. It took a while for people to say, "Wow, Paul's Boutique is something special." But I mean, there were so many rap and R&B bands that were doing that stuff in the late '80s that we never heard of, but they just kind of floated to the top.
Yeah.
And this is another one. I mean, it's just, there's so many records that sold millions and millions of albums, and Mazzy Star and artists like this, just they're bubbling up toward the top there, but they kind of get overshadowed by a lot of the other crazy stuff that got released.
Yeah, and there it's funny, the description given is dream pop, experimental rock, psychedelic rock.
Dream pop.
Dream pop. And that's a good description.
I like that. It makes me think of like a popsicle.
Yeah.
Now I want a popsicle.
Now you want a popsicle.
Okay, cool. That's a good one. Mazzy Star. I saw that in the list. I knew that you would bring it. I have zero Mazzy Star. Anything else?
Nope. And you know what? Ghost Highway may not be a Cramps cover. The Cramps could have covered a Opal song. I don't know.
Let's look it up. We have the internet. Ghost Highway refers to a 1986 album, Ghost on the Highway, by the band The Gun Club.
The Gun Club. I'm mixing up my bands.
While Cramps refers to the Cramps, a separate band known for their punkabilly sound. So The Gun Club. Ghost on the Highway.
Ghost on the Highway. But this is Ghost Highway, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know then.
So it's solved. This is an original.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad we got that figured out.
Yeah, we got that figured out, so you can't say that in the comments.
Yeah. And I know that our friend Kevin Stout's going to love the fact that you just talked about
because
Mazzy Star.
he plays Mazzy Star often.
Awesome. Love it.
All right, you're up.
I don't even remember. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay.
What do you got? What's on the list?
I told you it's a metal year. This is Painkiller. This is Judas Priest's 12th studio album. Came out in September of '90. The first single was Painkiller, and it only had two. And the second single is A Touch of Evil. And if you've never heard Painkiller, this is Judas Priest at their most metal, their heaviest. I've always loved the artwork on it. It just looks like metal, and it looks like Judas Priest.
Their artwork is always pretty spectacular.
Yeah, and I mean they are the epitome of the new wave of British heavy metal, NWOBHM, which is a thing. NWOBHM. They were in that group in the mid to late 70s that came over here and was basically showing American rock bands how to kick ass. I've always loved Judas Priest. I'm not like the Judas Priest aficionado, but when you think of bands that have been flying the metal flag since the beginting, these guys are one of the ones. And Rob Halford, what a voice. Just the whole band, the dueling guitars, all of it is right up my alley. And like I said, I'm not going to sit down and listen to Priest album after Priest album, but if you have not heard Painkiller, put it on, listen to it, and think about all of the stuff that was going on in the music industry at the time, all of the genres that we were just talking about. Listen to how freaking heavy this is, because it will blow your mind. I mean, it really is. And I got to give them credit, man. It's like, hey, we're the band that is known for Living After Midnight, which is just like a rock pop
Yeah.
song, and we're gonna melt your face with Painkiller. And
They did.
It does. I love the artwork on the back. It kind of reminds me a little of like the Bat Out of Hell artwork. I mean, if you mix motorcycles, angels' wings, fire,
Leather.
the devil. I mean, what else do you need, right?
It's all there.
It's all there. And yeah, I think I got this like 5-6 years ago, and Mr. Russell was looking for it for a long time, looking for an original pressing of it for a long time, and was having trouble finding it. I think he finally got it. So, congrats, Mr. Russell. Put on some Painkiller, and
Melt your face.
Melt your face and piss your neighbors off. What's your next one?
My next one,
Oh, it's
The
your
last
last
one.
one. Oh, yes.
the Pixies, Bossa Nova.
Yep.
And the Pixies were a band that this was their third studio? Yeah, third studio by the alternative rock band.
They really are, though. I mean,
Yeah.
they really are.
It's funny. They wind up as space rock, surf rock. I've heard them described as grunge. There's nothing really grunge about them.
No, I don't. I agree. I think, I don't know, man. I think it would be hard in this era to be a singular band, but these guys are pretty close, right? I mean, they have a sound.
Yeah, they have a sound. And that's one of the great things about the Pixies. When you put on an album, you want to hear the whole thing.
They were out of my purview at the
Yeah.
time. So you've got Frank Black, or whatever,
Black Francis.
Black Francis, whatever you're calling him.
Kim Deal.
Kim Deal.
David Lovering, and Joey Santiago.
Yeah. Yeah. And didn't you say that like at their shows, they just come out and play, and there's like,
There's not a lot of talking.
yeah,
They come out, they play, and it's pretty spectacular.
straightforward. We're playing our music. We're not here to talk to you
Yeah.
or preach at you. We're just playing. You got to respect that.
And I know there's a documentary that I've seen on the Pixies. It was maybe a Showtime documentary. Showtime does a bunch of music documentaries.
Yeah, they're starting to.
And I know that when they reunited, Kim was on the reunited bunch, but now they've got a replacement for Kim. But the other 3 members are still with the band.
Yeah. And Kim went on to
The Breeders.
the Breeders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is another great band.
With
You
her
know,
sister,
yeah, that's
Kim
right.
and Kelly.
Kim and Kelly. The family tree of bands. We should do a family tree show sometime where we talk about like bands are like 1 degree from other bands with as much movement and like player switching and stuff
Yeah.
as there is. Like one that comes to mind, LA Guns, like they're notorious for having had like 75 people in the band over the years, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it really does when you think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
you're talking about a band, 35, 40 years old. But no, I saw this pops up on almost every list if you look.
Oh yeah, everybody gives this album an A.
Yeah. And it looks, the aesthetic is kind of, I mean, it looks like stuff that came out then.
Yeah, well, and they've got all this. Maybe because of the front cover design,
Yeah.
they get space rock.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like the pastels and like
Yeah.
muted colors and stuff. Yeah, I figured you'd bring
Oh
that.
yeah, had to bring this.
That's a good one, man. So is this something that you had on CD when it came out?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
this was when I was buying CDs, so I had to pick this up. And it's funny, even the repops of Pixies stuff are not. You're not going to find them super cheap.
Yeah. I just don't think they're made in huge numbers.
No, I mean, and maybe with the Pixies touring again, they're starting to amp that up a little bit. But still, I mean, you just don't find them cheap.
Right. No, that's a great one, man. I had the crystal ball. I knew you were bringing this.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, I'll tell you after you put your last one up.
Okay. So I just got this record. It's not open yet. This is Iron Maiden's No Prayer for the Dying. This is their 8th studio album. It's their first album to feature Yannick Gers on guitar, who replaced Adrian Smith. Smith left the band during the pre-production phase, unhappy with the musical direction it was taking. He has since come back, so now they're a 3-guitar band. Why not? Iron Maiden is a phenomenon, man. I mean, at the time, in 1990, and you've got the round hype sticker, which is bullshit, as we know, and then the square one from the Legacy of the Beast tour that was a few years ago. But anyway, these guys were like outsiders in the 90s. I mean, they toured, but they didn't have like huge shows. They weren't selling out everywhere they went. You didn't see Iron Maiden shirts everywhere like you do now. These guys can play any stadium, any arena in the world for multiple days now and sell it out. It's crazy, and they've never had a hit.
Yeah, and there are people who follow them like they're Grateful Dead.
Oh yeah, I mean, I worked a show like 7 years ago in Reno, and I was there for a week, and I saw that they were in Vegas. I flew from Reno to Vegas to see them before I flew home.
So you're one of those people.
I don't remember that night very well. I remember it ended with wings at Hooters because I was staying in the Hooters hotel, classy. But yeah, man, they you can't explain what's going on with these guys.
No.
They've just been the road dogs. They've been out there. They put out an album every couple of years. They tour on that album. They play that whole album. It's a phenomenon, and I love the fact that they get all of the respect that they do now. But nobody is more surprised by it than any of the guys in this band. I mean, if you listen to them, they're like, we never would have imagined that 40 years into our career that we were going to be this big. And of course, I think this is an alternative cover. I think the original cover, I believe, was different. Could be wrong about that. And then you've just got a picture of the 5 of them on the back there.
Looking very metal.
Looking very metal, like long hair, beards, maybe skipped a couple showers. I'm going to open this one up and play it tonight, I think. But is there any other interesting stuff?
My big surprise was you didn't bring the Black Crowes Shake Your Moneymaker.
I know, but when I first dug in, and I'm like, metal album.
I'm glad you stuck with all metal.
Stick with all metal. And the Crowes album is just an anomaly.
Yeah.
It's not a metal album. It's not a rock album. It's kind of like a southern rock, soul, R&B, pop, rock. Yeah, the Black Crowes are on another level on their own. I mean, you can't explain that phenomenon either, other than the fact that it's just a great record. But I've talked so much about the Black Crowes. I wanted to talk about stuff that I don't talk about, and I feel like all 5 of these records.
Those are great picks.
Yeah, and they're
and I like that they're all metal.
Yeah, they're either hard rock or metal. I mean, but I love Maiden, and I think they just did a European leg of their newest tour this summer. I think next year they'll be in the U.S. with the U.S. swing of that, and I will see that as often as I can because I'm sure they're going to hang it up soon. Nico McBrain, the guy that's been playing drums since like the second or third album, he stepped out of the band for this last tour. He's just, it's tough. It's tough being a drummer. It's a very physical thing, and he's in his mid 70s, and he owns a restaurant not far from my parents' place in Boca Raton, and you can go there and sometimes see him there. So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So Nico's off living his retired rock star life, but I had to bring Maiden. I know it's not open yet, but I'm going to open it tonight, and we'll
after Slayer.
Yeah,
Slaughter.
Yeah, after Slaughter, I'll listen to Iron Maiden.
I think Slayer had an album out in 92.
They did. Is it Seasons in the Abyss, I think is what it is. I can't remember. It's not Rain and Blood. It's the one after Rain and Blood. But I have Rain and Blood. I don't have the one after that. I'm not a big Slayer guy. It's funny. Like they're a metal band.
In a genre, it's like, I don't.
I mean, people love Slayer, and they like played their final show in LA like 7 years ago, and of course they're playing shows again. So,
yeah, because you can't.
Yeah,
you can't run away from money.
Right. No band is ever over. Don't buy any of the hype. Don't buy all the farewell stuff. It's been happening for 35 years now. They're never over. You're always going to be able to see them again, unless somebody dies. Well, are there other things from the beginning of the 90s that really stand out to you?
In 1990, no, it was, it's funny because we mentioned it earlier that, that's when the grunge era really kicked off, and we saw that with Facelift.
Yeah.
So it was just a weird year.
Temple of the Dog also came out that
Temple
year.
of the Dog.
But I've sung the praises of that record constantly, and I wanted to bring stuff I haven't talked about before. But Temple of the Dog in 1990, then you had Soundgarden and Pearl Jam releasing their first records, and it was just a very fertile time for all music, but especially that like Seattle grunge scene.
Yeah, it was a change.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird when the decades roll around, it seems like there's always a change in music.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people are coming to an age where they either play stuff, put bands together, or they're listening to certain things at that age and exposed to different influences, and maybe meeting their musical sensei and that person driving them from here to there. So I remember as like a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, when I really dug into music. I'm grateful that my parents let me go to shows with friends who were old enough to take us, or family members who were old enough to take us. I kind of fear that kids don't get that same experience anymore because they're not listening to like full albums. Bands aren't releasing full albums like they used to. It's more of a single release cycle anymore. And like I've said before, I would like read in Metal Edge magazine when releases were coming out that had to be printed like a month beforehand. And I'd go into the record store and be like, hey, do you have the new Cinderella record? And, they'd be like, no, it got pushed back or whatever. Cinderella had an album out in 90 called Heartbreak Station that was fantastic, but I don't have it on vinyl. Sad face.
Well, I mean, CDs were taking over.
Yeah, and I didn't really collect CDs until a little bit later, but man, I made up for lost time. Because I've got so much stuff on CD, and I'm not going to sell them. I know a lot of people who like said, "Oh, digital music, I'm selling all my CDs." Guess what? Those CDs are worth, or their value is going up.
Yeah, especially metal CDs.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens in the future. But this little trip back to 1990 was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
I'm glad that you brought the the different things that you did. I think we have a really nice, strange cross section between like alternative and hard rock and heavy metal. We want you guys to make sure you go to our social media. We want you to go to that fourth wall link. We want you to check the stuff out on our YouTube page. And when you're on social media with us, what do we want you to do?
Like, subscribe, and share.
And comment.
And comment.
Tell us what your favorite releases from 1990 are. Tell us what you want us to talk about on the next show. We're going to do that 3D episode coming up here real soon. Any other news that we want to share?
Keep spinning records.
Keep spinning the records. Keep flipping through those bins at the shows and the record shops, and keep listening to that heavy metal, because you know what? It's good, and it'll melt your brain. For Wheels, for Eddie, I'm Jay, and we'll see you all the next time around.